Good morning. Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to the Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Good morning, Leslie. First one in today. It's probably later in the day for you. I can't remember what the time change is, darling, but good day to you. Hi there. Look at you all coming in. It's good to see you. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Um, it has been a very busy and interesting week. Oh, it's in the afternoon for you, 2:28 p.m. Um, it's great with the power of technology to be able to tap in and hear where everybody is at in their own neck of the woods, their own part of the universe. It has been an interesting week. It's been very busy. I'm sure all of you are busy, with your own week, but time this week has been completely out of my awareness. It's like I'm really aware that that the time in the spirit dimensions doesn't exist. It has come up a lot in my readings this week. Spirit have been talking about that, about timelines here in the physical world, timelines in other dimensions, and timelines in the spirit dimension. It doesn't exist there, and I've been reminded of that more and more. And over the holidays, as we inch closer and closer, I think we're 16 days away from Christmas. We start to feel that timeline crunch here in the physical world, don't we? And a whole bunch of other things are coming up for us right now as well, and that is expectations. Expectations throughout the holiday season can wear us out. We often pull in the vibration of stress, the vibration of missing our loved ones in the spirit dimensions. The expectations, perhaps, that you should be doing certain things and giving certain things and being in certain places, and it does get quite heavy. And I talked to Spirit this morning about a few things. I talked about grief. Good morning, sister. Look at you all coming in. And the expectations. Joy says it makes me feel real tired these days. Yeah. So, I think that there's a few things on this topic, and I think that most of us will agree that we do already know. Like we know that Christmas isn't about necessarily the sweaters under the tree or the gifts wrapped up, and it should be more about time with people, and the celebration and the meals. For many of us, that's really difficult to do with grief and with physical world struggles. And as I was sitting with Spirit this morning, and I had some Spirit people, some of them I knew, some of them I didn't know, up in the spirit dimensions, join me while I sat there. I had a Spirit ask me a question. They said, Lana, if you were to leave this physical world today, what would you want from the people that are still here? What would you want for them? How would you look at Christmas from the spirit dimensions, from not being here? And I felt that for a moment, and I felt very strongly that I would want my loved ones and my friends and family to go forward on their journey and go forward in their celebrations. And even though we know that spirit, our loved ones, are with us, the physical world leans into the lack of. And, one key gift that spirit gave me a reminder on today to share with all of you is, if we can tap in a little bit deeper to their soul, their energy, that they are very much with us, what they want for us here in the physical world, it does shift a little bit that lack of for us here in the physical world. What Spirit wants for us is to continue on our journey and go forward on our journey with them, to be able to lean into the that dimension a little bit more, to feel them and bring them closer a little bit more. And we in the physical world lean out the opposite way into the lack of. And there is this energetic friction between the two dimensions, and that's how Spirit showed it to me this morning, to kind of give you all their perspective, because their perspective is very different than our perspective quite often. So they are working with us to bring us magic, to help us to to navigate through the holidays without their physical presence, and we push against the absence. So we have this going on between us and the spirit dimensions, which is a really interesting perspective. I never really thought about it that way, with that friction. And when they showed it to me, I kind of had that big aha kind of moment. We do that, and they are working in the opposite vibration as we are. So, on our last live that I did, you can go back and catch it. It's still up on the channel. We talked about ways of sitting with spirit and channeling them. And there are so many other beautiful ways of bringing spirit in closer. Doing something in their honor is one, whether it be a small donation, an act of kindness, a visit to where their resting place may be, whatever resonates with you, to be able to bring them in closer and to be able to feel them and sitting with them a little bit more. And what happens when we do that, when we bring that vibration in, when we bring that into our awareness, when we just pause for a moment and sit outside of the physical world, and when we sit inside the spirit dimensions, when we do that, what happens is we do learn to go forward, working with spirit from a very different point of view, from a very different alignment. We never truly, I feel very strongly, we never fully embrace that new relationship with spirit from the spirit dimensions, because here in the physical world, it's all about physical things. It's all about that physical presence. It's all about being able to do things one way. And we do struggle with shifting out of that. I've spent a lot of years learning from spirit and working with spirit. And even for myself, I talked about this in one of my videos yesterday with a friend of mine who finally connected from the spirit dimensions. And, even though I do this for a living, I still miss that physical connection with people. But when we sit in the presence of spirit, like we did with our last channeling here, when we did that, so many of you had that experience, and it does close that gap between the physical world and the spirit dimensions. And spirit works really hard at bringing us that. Now, other dimensions, I just want to tap into other dimensions. Other dimensions, spirit has shown me where, souls are having experiences on different timelines. They've closed that gap a lot more than what we have here in this timeline, in this physical world. They have evolved, their souls have evolved with a deeper understanding and a more of an acceptance of working with source energy. And I found that kind of fascinating, when spirit showed me that. And I kind of leaned into, well, what can we do here in this timeline to close that gap even more? And spirit said, well, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're showing up, you're teaching, and a lot of mediums, psychics, healers are trying more and more, and you can see that shift. You can see that shift more and more with trying to teach people that there's more to this physical world than what we may realize, that there's more to the spirit dimensions than what we may realize. And I do feel that is a big part of what's coming in the future here in this physical world. There is more of that oneness, and that's what other dimensions have already figured out. They have already figured out that big piece with this oneness in here in this physical world. We're still struggling to tap into that, to really tap into that. And I think that there is more coming with growth here. We do have a long way to go, but over the next 16 days, as you're navigating through the energy of the holidays, and whatever that energy of the holidays means for you, tap in to the spirit dimensions. What do they feel like? Sit in that energy for a few moments over the next 16 days, and you'll slowly shift into that awareness that spirit wants for us to continue the journey of learning with them and not without them. It eases our grief. It eases our loneliness. It eases, those triggering moments. If you're unpacking your Christmas decorations and putting them on the tree, and you find something that reminds you of a deceased loved one, and we go into that lack of shift into the present vibration of them. It's a powerful opportunity to just kind of lean in there and learn a little bit more about the spirit dimensions. Diane, I see you here this morning. I'm just want to ask. It's okay if you don't want to respond, but Diane, I just want to know how your husband's doing. I've been sending some healing energy to both you and to him. So if you can just let us know that he's doing okay, I'd be grateful. A question here has been posted. I need my glasses. Can you tell me who's been taking my money? I feel it's 100% paranormal. Please tell me I'm not going crazy and I'm going to get it back. It's added up to a very large sum. Diane, when I lean in there, I'm not picking up that it's paranormal. I'm not feeling that, Diane. I don't feel it's paranormal. What I would do is I'd be manifesting and kind of sitting with that and kind of taking a look. I do think that there's more of a lesson there regarding money, but I'm not picking up that it's paranormal activity. What's your opinion about telekinesis and other abilities such as controlling fire and water? What can we do in order to bring out the power we have as humans hold? Oh, that's a really good question. It's all energy. Number one, it's all energy. And I firmly believe that we can tap into that energy of moving objects or bending objects or at, blowing out fire, blowing out candles, or with water. We are powerful spiritual beings. We have grown a little bit detached from that through our physical world experience, and what we believe we can and cannot do. When you lean into, I'll use what I do with animal communication and telepathic communication. When I let go of the thought process of the belief system that I could not do it, and when I committed myself energetically to be able to communicate this way, to be able to send messages telepathically, great things started to happen. The more that I leaned into it, the greater that it grew. When we put our focus into energy, when we put our focus into the practice of it, and it is all about practice and it is all about changing that mindset, amazing things happen. The issue that we have in the physical world is we don't dedicate that as a practice. And even with my mediumship over the years, especially my early years of my mediumship, I was in and out of it a little bit. But the more that I connected, the more that I worked on it, the more that I practiced that communication with people in other dimensions, the more I grew. And it's the same thing with what you're asking about there. It's all energy. I'm not the first person to say that. And the more that you lean in there and the more that you practice, the more that you dedicate that. Ancient people had incredible gifts with working this way, with connecting this way. And I always lean into the vibration of fun as well. We do take things really serious here in the physical world, and we don't practice these things for fun. I do so many things with spirit just for the fun of it, just to try it, just to explore it. And I lean out of what I've been told or what things have been said here. A lot of people think it's impossible to do certain things. But I lean out of that. I don't listen to it, and I stay in alignment with that. So I would, if that interests you, I would definitely give that a try. My little sister wanted me to ask you if she has any cat guides, and if not, why. She loves cats. I'm picking it up as a bigger cat. I'm actually picking up like a lioness that walks on her left side there. Quite often when we have a spirit guide that's an animal or has a certain vibration. So for example, perhaps your spirit guide may have a feeling of a warrior and you kind of connect to that kind of energy. Sometimes we may have a passion for an animal. That quite often is our awareness of what is guiding us. So yeah, I would agree that she does have a cat. I also have to agree or remind her that she needs to communicate with that cat and get to know that spirit animal as well. Joy, Would love to hear if you have a message from me from my little lost one. Think that I have seen her lately, but not sure. It felt very light and very peaceful. Joy, as I'm connecting with you, I'm seeing in my my spiritual peripheral vision here, I'm seeing a lot of different colored orbs, and I'm also seeing a wider shelf in your home where this little soul does connect with you. I see it too. I think if I'm standing in front of it, I think to the right is my window, to the left is like the shelf or a shelving unit that I'm tapping in there. You're absolutely connecting there with that little one. I also see that you do something in honor of this little one. I also feel that she has been reaching out to you more and more. I'm actually feeling her in my hair. Yes, her ashes are there. There you go, Joy. There you go. Joy, am I actually seeing? I can just see the window. It looks quite bright near where the ashes are. And I'm like I said, I'm not sure if it's a fireplace mantle or a shelving unit, but it does feel like quite wide for me. I feel like there's something that you're doing as a tradition or on a regular basis with her, and I think it does connect to this time of year. But I think that you always do as well. I don't know if you're talking to that space or if you sit in that space quite often. But she's definitely been reaching out. She's also pulling my hair, so watch for any feelings in your hair. Yes, it's right next to the shelf. Very cool. That is the power of remote viewing. So whoever asked the question earlier about telepathic communication and different things with energy, what I am doing is I am pretty much self-taught. I did take one course on remote viewing, but I am pretty much self-taught. So I taught myself to leave my physical eyes and go to somebody else's space or go to another space. So when Joy asked me about this little lost soul, I asked to leave my physical body and to go into Joy's world and to bring something back for Joy that I can see that I've never seen before. I don't know Joy. Never been in her home, but I was able to remote view into her home to get that piece of information for Joy. So that is an energy that is very similar to what somebody asked about, blowing out fire. It's very similar. Remote viewing is very similar. It's a I'll use the word superpower because it is something that is not a physical world sense. It's not like I'm smelling it. I'm actually leaving there and to remote view, to look in. So I do hope that helps. Joy, you made me cry. I really thought I was wrong and feel bad about it, but you helped me so much. Joy, I'm really glad that you got that gift this morning. So there are so many things that we are capable of doing that we can lean into and practice. When I first started remote viewing, I literally had no idea what I was doing. I literally just read a book and started practicing and did some online reading. And as I got to see things and as I got validation that that I was actually remote viewing, I did take a course to kind of go a little deeper and to kind of polish that up. And I practice remote viewing all the time. I bring that remote viewing into my readings. I ask Spirit to show me, and I literally leave my physical body here and look somewhere else. I used to, when I was learning remote viewing, I used to visualize that I had a pair of binoculars that were from the spirit dimensions. I know it sounds really playful, right? So there's the vibration of play that I'm talking about. I used to just visualize I had a pair of binoculars, spirit binoculars, and I used to pretend to use them, literally use my imagination. I'm going to use these binoculars to see into somebody and to see something. And that's exactly what I did with Joy. So there's some validation for you, Joy, that she's definitely still around. Diane, my husband had his surgery last night and went through a great, thank you for giving me hope yesterday. I knew it felt really good, Diane. I mentioned that to you yesterday, that I knew there was a struggle that he was going through, but I did feel him coming out the other side of it in a good space. So thank you very much for that update. I'll continue sending so much love and light there to you. Good. So I'm just going to scroll through and answer a couple more questions. My mom has my mom been sending unicorn sign? It really seems to me like she has been. Lunar Lull, I want to take this, your question is a very good one. You said something in there that is really important. You said it really seems to me like she has been. That is your gift, your psychic ability, your mediumship. That we are all psychic, and we all have mediumship abilities. That is your inner knowing, your higher self responding to your mom's energy from the spirit dimensions. So 100%, yeah, the unicorn signs, you're being told from your higher self, from your space within, that this is your mom. You gotta trust that. That is spirit working with you. And this leans back into what I spoke to a little, in the first few minutes of this segment, is we need to tap in there. And that's exactly what you've done. You've tapped into the spirit dimensions to feel it for yourself. How glorious is that? That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Good. Let me just see. I'm just going to scroll back through. Want to get a couple more questions. I do have a mentoring student this morning, so I have to get to my studio because we're going to have some fun with some practice readings today. And just while I'm on that topic with my mentoring students, I have an incredible group of mentoring students. I was taking a look at my spiritual mentoring private Facebook group, and I've got 70 people that are in that page that are on their own journey of learning how to channel and taking their gifts deeper. And I'll tell you, the growth and the development from my group, I literally jaw dropping, even for me, with what they're coming out with, and how fast they're growing. I've picked up my jaw a few times the last couple of weeks with these students. Fantastic. When we dedicate an all-in energy to learn with the spirit dimensions. And if I have any students on here today, feel free to chime in. I don't see any of you yet. Nisa, are you on here? I thought I seen maybe Nisa's name in the beginning. But the growth when we commit to the learning, I've got students that have rolled up their sleeves and have been all in with the learning, and I'll tell you, it has been incredible. It has, in just a short time. I just finished a level 2, so that is a 6-week program plus the 4-week introduction program to spirit. So it's not a long time that they've been practicing. I am literally like jaw-dropping, shocked at their growth. They have been all in, they have been trusting, they have been learning, and they have been growing. And that's a prime example to what somebody asked me earlier about, can we learn to do this? 100% you can learn to do this. It takes a little bit of trust and a little bit of magic, and I guess you can say a little bit of pixie dust. Brooke, you have classes online. Most of my mediumship is online now. I do some in-person teaching for my local people, but I do online. Oh, there's Nisa. So Nisa just finished. I'm going to call you out here, Nisa. Nisa just finished level 2. So online, because a lot of my clients are now global. I've got clients all over the globe that are taking mediumship. I do them on Zoom. Level 1 is starting in the new year. The details are on my website. It's an introduction to spirituality. So it is the basics and the foundation that I very firmly believe that we need. We need the basics, and we need to practice. And Nisa, would you agree, hun, that with the dedication and the push and the commitment to spirit, the commitment to yourself, there's been a lot of growth? I'll let you answer that for the growth, Nisa. Let's see here. Caroline, that's amazing. Can I ask if your lessons are via video call, or can we follow at our own pace? I'm in Europe, so wondering how it works with time difference. So with the time difference, Caroline, you can work at your own pace because the classes are all video recorded. However, for level 1, that works really, really well. For level 2, the time difference can be a little bit of a struggle because levels 2 and 3, more so levels 3, but levels later in level 2 and most of levels 3 and 4, there's a lot of practice on the video call. So the recording, unless you're a really good independent learner, the recordings are still really helpful, but the practice exercises are done live. So, that's something to just kind of think about. Nisa, I've learned so much and strongly recommend if you have any interest in developing your intuition. Thanks, Nisa. It's a lot of fun. I love to teach. Spirit loves to teach, and we have a wonderful time. And I'm actually teaching a brand new program. I'm very excited. I'm actually going to be teaching platform mediumship. At my next platform event, I'm going to try really hard to have it either recorded and edited so that you can see a demonstration, so that you can see me read live in a group setting. But I'm actually teaching platform mediumship to a group of advanced students who are currently working as either readers or as mediums who are currently employed by that, to take them to the platform. I love platform mediumship. Platform mediumship is my biggest home, I think, in all the things that I do. So reading in large groups, the energy, it's a powerhouse energy. So if you can imagine, for me, let's just say I do a group of 50 people live. And it doesn't matter. The energy is the same if I do it on Zoom too. So if I do a group of 50 people, I walk into the room and there's 50 people sat at tables. The spirit dimensions, literally, it's like the roof falls off the building and the spirit dimensions are wide open for me. So there may be 50 people in a room and I may have a couple hundred spirits. And I love the feeling of it. It's literally like dancing in heaven for a couple hours. So it's a lot of fun. I love the platform. I love everything that I do, but there's just something about the platform that ignites my soul. But yeah, speaking of platform, I will be posting shortly details of the YouTube exclusive group event that I am going to be doing on Zoom here. So make sure you're keeping an eye on the community page. I will be posting details of that as well. I'm also not sure if I'll be live on Sunday. This Sunday, the Hawk and I are hosting a charity event for our local Nutrition for Learning here in our community. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make it live or post a video on Sunday, but I'm going to be here on Saturday at some point as well. It's so exciting hearing you talk about your teaching. Definitely going to look into joining. Yep, thehawkandI.com, and under workshops, you'll find what's listed. I'm also going to be adding a few one-day workshops into the new year as well. So for those of you who may be in different time zones, the one-day workshops may work better for you as well. I have to get myself to my studio. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this chat as much as I did. I am enjoying showing up here on the channel every day. I have come every single day, either in the form of a pre-recorded video or a live, and I'm loving it. So I am hoping that you're getting as much enjoyment out of hanging out here with us as we are. As always, love, light, blessings, and a spirit-guided day.